All right, here we go, guys. Round one. Sean Brady taking on Gilbert Burns. Nice inside leg kick from Brady to start. Some good footwork, some good movement. Now, for me, I feel like if Burns doesn't win this, it puts him in a very tough position if he ever wants to fight for a UFC title again. That would be his third straight loss, if I'm not mistaken. It's really hard to come back from that, especially at his age. You don't see many guys that stick around after three losses and actually get back to the top. The one person that comes to mind is someone like Glover Teixeira, but his circumstances were just slightly different. If I remember the scale of when he was winning and losing. So far, Brady put on a good pace on Burns. Now, we know Burns can crack. It only takes one, especially if Gilbert can catch Brady off of one of those naked kicks. A beautiful combination, man. Brady looks so much more improved since that Bilal fight. I know people are trying to write him off, say he's overrated. I just think it was probably too much too soon versus overrated. And I hate when people use the word fraud check. Come on, guys. It's not a fraud. It's just not the time. It's all about the right matchups at the right time. And I think people keep disrespecting Bilal, thinking he was an easy fight. And Brady found out that it was not an easy fight. He's actually the best guy who didn't have a belt at the time. Beautiful timing on that double leg from Burns, but Brady right back to his feet, uses that underhook nicely. Now they're against the cage. We got about 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in this first round. What's up, Funk Nation? If you haven't heard, we're doing a promo for 100 signed bottles of my new company, Funk Harbor Rum. You could get yours right now at funkharborrum.shop. Remember, drink responsibly and get it in time before UFC 307. I'll see you guys soon. Let's bring the funk. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, man. This welterweight division is heating up, man, and I think it's beautiful to see the upper weight classes start to have some drama, some characters. I'm not saying they never did before, but starting to have a little bit more, making those weight classes a lot more exciting. Because we all know, like, the upper weight classes typically have more knockouts and things like that. Beautiful blitz from Sean Brady. Almost caught him cleanly with that right hand, landed a nice uppercut, which we call the 5. A nice shovel uppercut from the lead hand stance. But again, with the characters now developing, we have more runway here. You got Shavkat, Bilal Muhammad at the belt, Leon Edwards losing to Bilal Muhammad after defending his belt twice. And then you have Colby, who still hasn't fought yet since his last one, fighting for the belt. And then you have Ian Gary. So there's a lot more characters, a lot more faces, some big names. And I think this makes it interesting if Bilal can get another contender coming out of this. Of course, Burns has fought for the belt before. He also fought the current champion. But if Brady wins, another contender enters that slot, and more talking points and more possibilities and more challenges. And I think that's what the people want. We want more excitement. We want change. We don't want a stalemate at the top with the same faces constantly fighting each other, kind of like the 155-pound division and 135 at a time period before, where it was just like TJ, Uriah Faber, Cody Garbrandt, and Dominic Cruz. Those were like the only guys at the top of the helm constantly fighting for the belt. And it was a little annoying. And we had a very similar circumstance at 155. But this is a very competitive round so far. I think Brady's edging it out, though. He keeps coming in with these blitzes where he's coming like straight over and then under. Instead of just straight again, he's coming under the guard of Burns. And I think that's really causing some problems for Burns. Brady got him against the cage. There's exactly 1 minute left in this first round. The monster tattoos on his back. Oh, Brady gets the takedown. 40 seconds left. Burns holding on to the neck, but he's back to his feet. S-grip control. Burns trying to fight the hands, pushing it down. These are one of the most frustrating positions when a guy can get his hands locked around you. Kind of like my next opponent in Mosar. Does a really good job of getting behind, locking the hands, and just sticking on the guys like glue. One of the positions we've been working on, because I'm typically doing that to people. So I got to make sure I can defend it if it's a game of who gets there first. Smart. Okay, inside 10 seconds. Ooh, round one, I got Brady. I think he takes the first round. Now, I know the MMA fan base is kind of, I don't say up in arms, but conflicted with John Jones consistently defending that he wants to fight Stipe Miocic instead of Tom Aspinall, the current interim heavyweight champion. But at the end of the day, I don't know, and I think Matt Brown said this on his podcast or whatever show he was on. I don't know if a fight with or without Tom Aspinall does anything for his career other than just making him more of a badass in the sense of if he wins. But if he loses, I think people are going to try to quickly diminish the skills of John Jones and his legacy and what he's done. So I don't know if it's a great thing for him to take the fight. It's great for the fans. It's great for me. I definitely want to watch that to see who's really the best guy at heavyweight because that's the reason why we have an interim champ. Otherwise, why make an interim belt if the interim is not going to fight the current champ to unify? That is the whole purpose. Can you see my frustration? That is the whole purpose of making an interim title. But with that said, looking forward to seeing what happens. Ooh, Burns landed a bungalow right hand to start round two. Brady immediately with the clinch against Burns on the cage. But just going back to my thought, I don't fault John Jones for defending to fight Stipe. It's technically a bigger fight from what us viewers and fans and even us athletes would know. We don't have that inside information to know exactly what those pay-per-view numbers are trending like, if they, or the searches, what would make the UFC rather go with that versus going the other route. Because here's my thing. If it wasn't a good thing for the UFC, I would imagine that the UFC would have been pushing for the Aspinall fight because you have two heavyweights, both with belts, one on his way out, John Jones, one who's much younger, Tom Aspinall, very talented Tom Aspinall. Seems like he has a long career ahead of him, Tom Aspinall. You give him an opportunity to fight a guy like John Jones, and he beats Jones. And Jones is getting ready to retire. You now have a megastar. I would say a megastar in the terms of how many eyes are going to watch that fight. I'm going to say you have a really big superstar in your hands in Tom Aspinall, were he to beat John Jones on John Jones' way out. Because we already know Jones is getting ready to retire. That's already a given. When, we don't know. Could be after this fight. Maybe after this fight, then he fights Aspinall. We don't know. But if Aspinall were to beat John and they were to make that fight, it just seems like the UFC would go with the fight. They always go with the fight that makes the most money. So there has to be something there with the UFC being adamant and sticking to the guns of John Jones fighting Stipe Miocic. There just has to be something there. Maybe it's contractual. Maybe it's contractual with another organization. Maybe it's one of the sheikhs overseas or something that they promised this fight. There has to be something that's making the UFC reluctant to unify the belts. And that's the only thing that I could think of that makes sense. Because I would imagine as a business who typically doesn't like to see their champion retire, they don't like to see their champions retire with the belt, I should say. They don't want to see their champions leave their organizations as the current champion. I would imagine that the UFC would want Aspinall to get that fight because if he were to win and they roll the dice, they have a superstar in their hands who they can now use to leverage to make even more money with the absence of a guy like John Jones. Almost once in a generational lifetime of talent, especially at the bigger weight classes. So with that said, that's the way I look at that. And again, I do think the right thing to do is to unify the belts. But John Jones is John Jones. His career is great with or without Aspinall on the resume. And I think that's what makes everything super interesting as Burns gets a takedown in a crazy scramble. 1 minute, 50 seconds left in round two. This fight is delivering. Burns is not giving up. He's there the entire time. And I'm going to say it's looking like a Burns round two so far from what I've been able to watch while talking with you guys, my people. So again, John Jones doesn't need Tom Aspinall. Aspinall doesn't need John Jones, but him having John Jones, the money that guy can make if he is to beat John Jones. let alone just to fight John Jones, right? Even if he doesn't beat him, John Jones retires as champion. The eyeballs that would now be on Aspinall, just from being in the same octagon, sharing those 25 minutes with a guy like Jones, that's huge for Aspinall's career. Of course, I would imagine Aspinall's going there to win. But again, John's legacy, his career, is not going to be defined by 2 heavyweight fights or 3 if he does take one more after the Miocic fight. So that's what we're trying to figure out, if he's going to stick around or not. And we're going to find out soon enough when this fight happens in November, which is about, September, October, November, 2 months. I'm very much looking forward to see how John Jones looks on his return. And, of course, Stipe Miocic. Stipe's a lot older. Is he going to look slow? Is he going to have some new wrinkles to his game? Is his takedown defense going to be up to par? His jiu-jitsu defense going to be up to par? Because we do know, I would imagine, with the longer reach of John Jones, it's going to be hard for Stipe to land a clean shot on John where he can possibly knock him out. So with that said, if Stipe gets taken down, even if he can defend for a while, I would like to think it's getting close to the beginning of the end where John could get to a TKO turtle position, or he could get to a position where he could get to his back, submit him, or a guillotine choke, which he's very, very good at. And we've never really seen Stipe defend submissions. So I just hope in this downtime, he's trying to level the playing field skill-wise. But yeah, that's my bit, my rant on John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. The fans have a right to be upset. Is it correct? I don't know. But you are fans. You do get to watch just like I do. And you get to have an opinion. You don't got to be pricks about it. But you're allowed to have an opinion. Now, the next hot topic, picograms now being legal if they're in a small amount. I don't even know what the F that means. What does that mean? Oh, you make my head hot. Oh, what does that mean? Is picograms the amount, or is picogram the drug? So if you have a picogram of a substance in your body, which I'm imagining is the drug, the substance, I answer my own question. What does that mean? I mean, are we allowed to have small traces of some banned substances? Seems like we are. How did those banned substances get in there? I have no idea. I am not a chemist, scientist, doctor. I do not know any of the rules and regulations on any of that stuff other than what they tell us we can and cannot take. This is why I only take third-party substances, supplements, I should say, because it makes it a lot easier. I can get some peace of mind because if something does happen, I can blame it on them. So thankfully, Thorne makes some good products that we can actually take that is third-party tested for at least the things that I take. But yeah, I don't know what that means. Picograms being legal in such a small amount. What does that even mean? That means if you really, really take a very tiny, minuscule amount, you're okay. What the kind of effect does that have on your performance? I don't know. I don't have those answers. Only a doctor, scientist, whatever can actually give you the answers to know what type of dosage would actually give you benefits for the human, prolonging in certain circumstances. But yeah, I don't really have an actual answer for that. Guys, if you're enjoying this watch along, fight watch party with me, which is not really a party because it's just me, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe too. It's a good one. Right now we're in round 3. We got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Ooh, Burns lands a nice knee while his back is against the cage on Brady. Brady keeping the pressure on Burns. I gotta say something. I got a little bone to pick with Burns. I know he did a podcast. He does a podcast with Renato Moicano, and he was saying that Moicano's getting him in trouble with guys that he's cool with or has a relationship with as fighters. Now, I remember Burns' son one time, and of course he's a child, but I remember him like, Burns, I thought we were cool, man. And his son was going for like O'Malley in something like right next to us, kind of a thing. It was like weird. I wasn't there, obviously, but it was like I forget where we were at. I want to say it was like at the Host Hotel or Presser, something where the kid really wanted a picture with O'Malley last year, and it was really sad for me. I was like, Burns, I thought we were friends. Can't you tell him to do that when I'm not around? Joking, of course. But it did hurt me a little bit, just a little bit, just a picogram. Okay, guys, so we got some conversation happening about Israel Adesanya possibly taking on Caio Bravo. That would be a phenomenal fight right now, especially because one is on the crazy uprise right now. I believe 5 in a row, fighting out of the team, the Nerd Fight team, or Team Fight Nerds. And then you have Adesanya who just lost against Dricus Duplessis. Really good fight. There was a couple of things that felt a little strange, but obviously the better man that night won, which was DDP. So with that said, we now have Izzy in a tough spot. Who does he fight next if he wants to keep fighting? I know he's a little bit older, not the youngest guy, but I think this is a great matchup for Barajo. Great grappler. He showed some great resilience, high level striking, but his grappling could be a very big difference in the fight with Adesanya. I think it might be a tough matchup for Israel. I don't know if the fight's going to happen, but I think that would be a very, very fun crossroads fight for Izzy to stay at the top of the helm, to possibly get another crack at the title with maybe 1 or 2 wins in a row, or Caio Bravo inserts himself as the next #1 contender to fight for a title at 185 pounds. Because they need some new blood, and I think the way he looked against Cannonier looked like a man on a mission, and that is the guy I would like to see in there challenging for the belt. Maybe after Hamzat and Whitaker matchup. So let me know. Who do you guys think wins that? I think stylistically on paper, it looks like a great matchup for Caio Barajo, where Izzy hasn't looked like the sharpest, fastest, quick, twitchy fighter like he has in the past. And I love Izzy, everything he's done for the sport. But just breaking it down from how he's looked in his last 2 fights, it hasn't been the Izzy of old on his way up, where the fast twitch reflexes, the level changes, and not level changes like he's going for a takedown, level changes in his like stutter steps, where he's landing those feints, hip twitches, landing those calf kicks, leg kicks, front kicks to the body, even those head kicks and question mark kicks. We just haven't seen him look as sharp as he has in the past, and that for me is the reason why I would lean towards Caio in a matchup with these two guys. But we all know Izzy's a former champion, and to become a former champion, to become a champion, I should say, it takes some big discipline and a different type of mindset, and he's been there already, and Barajo hasn't, and that could be the difference for Izzy to get his hand raised in that matchup. So I'm looking forward to it. If it does happen, hopefully the UFC does make this matchup, and we will see. Round 4 in the books. This is round 5, guys. We got 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in this round. I think Brady is up, in my opinion. Could be 3-1. I doubt 2-2. Could possibly see 4-0. I don't think I said 2-1, right? 3-1, 3-1. 3-1 or 4-0, Brady. Some close rounds. Burns did some good stuff. But I think all in all, it looked like Brady. I mean, it could possibly even be 2-2. I mean, from what I'm seeing on the X, seems like Burns is down on the scorecards. Yeah, most people have it 3-1 for Brady. It's kind of what I had it at. Although talking and watching at the same time is not the easiest. Burns needs a finish here. Ooh, 2 big inside leg kicks from Brady. I like both these guys, man. You know, Brady's that new school guy, East Coast guy, inside leg kick again, just landed 2 more. But Burns is an old school guy. You know, I'm an old school guy. I like my old school guys to do well because then I feel like I still have some time. When they start losing, oh, flying knee! She. Brady ate it. Got him on the cage again. But yeah, the old school guys, when they win, they keep doing better and better, or they stick around, they win some, maybe lose here and there, but for the majority of the time, they get to the top and they hover around that top spot. It makes me feel like I have more time in my career, which is uplifting at 35 years of age. You could imagine. I'm going to have to try to get on that commentary booth and see what happened, you know? See what they got. Like, hey, yo, your boy Funk trying to get on the mic. Brady with a big lift on that single leg gets Burns to his back. We got 2 minutes left in the fifth round. Burns got to do something. He's got to get up or find some type of Hail Mary submission. But with the double underhooks, I just can't see how he's going to get that on Brady here. Brady's content to just sit heavy, drive the forward head pressure in the guard. Small punches here and there, but he's got that right underhook, double underhook now. Heavy head over head pressure under Gilbert's chin. Burns using the double frames, trying to push away, create space. It's not easy, man. Looking for the triangle. Omoplata. He gets to his feet. Damn, Brady's just on him like glue. He's not letting that man go. No breathing room. Watch the inside reap. Oh, no reap. Just a big lift and a slam down. Brady looking like another level. 1 minute left. 20 seconds left in this. I think we all know which way this fight's going to go. Great fight from both guys. Burns fought as tough as he could. He brought everything he had against a very game and more experienced Sean Brady, who evolved and just looked like another level tonight. Just completely, just nice to see, man. Overall, just nice to see. Tough one for Burns. Obviously, he's a tough dude at 170. Been a mainstay, but to lose 3 in a row now, you kind of have to wonder what's he going to say to himself in the sense of, well, where do I go from here? I don't know. I hope he does stick around, but we don't know what he's going to do. So with that said, I think we kind of know which way this is going to go. This is a Brady W. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And one other thing, congrats to Mighty Mouse DJ again on your retirement. Happy retirement from myself, my fiance, my team, and of course the Funk Harbor team. We will see you guys next time on the next episode of the Weekly Scraps, baby. See you next time. Peace.